All right, technical difficulty. Have to actually add us to the stream. Hello and welcome. We are the Aussie guys. I'm AJ. Here with me is G. How are you, G?
Good, but what's with the glasses?
I'm just cool. I'm a cool dude.
You do realize that when you wear glasses, that they're meant to like sort of suit the size of your head?
They do suit the size of my head. Apart from the fact that I can't actually even see anything.
Yeah. Was there a reason for wearing them?
No.
Oh, okay.
None at all. That's better. I actually need these. Hello, G. How you doing?
Well,
Good,
mate.
good.
I've got your dog here, so I'm just taking care of that. Teaching it a few lessons. It's not doing too bad. Sitting still now, at least.
Yeah. I was very excited to see you.
It was.
So,
at least it didn't pee anywhere, did it?
no, he doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that?
No, he doesn't do that.
Man, I used to work with a guy, and he'd pick me up for work in the morning. And his dog, his wife was there because she drove the car home. And mate, every morning, the bloody dog would jump on my lap and pee on me every day.
What? You
It's
serious?
just so excited.
Oh, man. Sometimes I'm that excited to see it. I just, a little bit comes out. So, hey, Ganley, how you doing? We are joined by a couple of guests. Actually, let me just add them in here. So, let me just add in. We've got Ben. We've got Dave.
Dave, what? Don't call, he's not Grumpy Lifton. He's movie star now.
Movie star. Yep. Now,
it's a television at least. Start the small screen and you work your way up, but it's a start.
Listen,
this time it wasn't Australia's Most Wanted.
No,
Aussie guys, we go big with the celebrity.
Yes,
we go big. A-list. We only go A-list. Season 2, episode 13. Was it, Dave?
That's what I've been told.
Paramedics. On what network is it? What channel is it on?
Channel 9, I believe, mate.
Channel 9. So you can probably catch it on there.
Sorry, what was that, Ben?
Isn't it on like channel 31 at like 3 a.m. or something?
Graveyard shift.
Mate,
prime time.
Prime time.
Mate, I was just sitting there, just on the couch. I don't watch those. My wife and my daughter love watching that type of show. Maybe because it's, as far as reality TV goes, it's probably the only real reality TV around these days.
It's not
what's happening is not, produced, or this is what's going on.
Right.
You can't stop middle of a cardiac arrest and go, hey, can you do that again for me? Can you clutch your chest more? Can you sweat more?
Yeah, start.
Oh, Dave, Sorry, Dave, move a bit to the left, could you please? Sorry, just move. We just need to catch that side of your face.
Mate, can you get your wife to start crying? We just need a bit more drama in here, But no, I was just sitting there, I was just on the couch for, a couple of minutes. And lo and behold, mate, Dave's beautiful big head, bang! I said, I know this bloke. So he goes, you know him. I had to explain the whole.
Hello.
That's Max. Good night, Max.
And also starring Max. Yeah.
Hey, mate, do you need some Greggy boot camp round there, mate? I saw my kids out pretty quick.
This is proper reality TV now, isn't it?
But yeah, no, it was good to see. It's interesting when you see someone that you know. You know that bloke.
Yeah.
So
man.
Yeah, and the funny thing was your text went off, and then about 3 or 4 others went off at the same time because I didn't even know. I was on night shift, and it all came up and they go, "Can I have your autograph? Can I have your autograph? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, back on!" Oh, anyway,
the bloody Micah guy, the Micah paramedic, is that correct? Yeah, mate. Yeah. He stole it, mate. He stole your limelight.
He is a legend. He's one of the best blokes. He is a man with a heart of pure gold, and
dude, how come he's got a beard? You had to take your beard off during the COVID thing.
He did too. He actually came out on TV and shaved his off because he used to have the big. So this is done back in.
So this is before COVID.
Yeah. This was March 2019. That's the eldest one. Yeah, Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Do they realise he's a professional?
I know we're trying to be as professional as we can.
Yeah, yes.
You know, we've got the German cuckoo clock in the background, but you know, yeah. So yeah, it was done in 2019, and this is pre.
Okay.
I mean, I had a beard then too, so
Okay.
I do now. But Dodgy's got a magnificent.
He's got the
wizard, Ned Kelly,
Wow.
wizardy, bikey dude. Yeah, but he's a man with a heart of pure gold. He's a legend.
It looks like is it who's the dude out of Harry Potter? Something Dawes?
Yeah, Dumbledore. Yeah, he's
Dumbledore,
Dumbledore with tattoos. He's got
Yeah.
tattoos from the tip of his fingers, pretty much over his entire. He's like the what was it, that bikey TV show?
Don't know. Don't watch a lot of bikes.
It was a motorcycle gang.
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy, meets Harry Potter. He's like, he'd be like Dumbledore of Sons of Anarchy. Yeah. Good one, Benny. Thanks, mate.
So,
All
AJ,
right.
let's go. Greggy's got to work tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, drinks of the pod first up.
Yes.
Dave's gone with the classic.
I'm going Poppo.
Yeah.
I've got the.
No, that's mine.
Of course it is.
It's
I
got,
just looked at it.
it's got sugar in it.
Of course it is. So this is G's one, and it's like, of course it
Mate,
is.
I'm
G.
giving
the original.
I'm giving
Sailor
these spicy rums a go, mate. At the moment, different
Sailor
brands.
Jerry, is it spiced rum and dry? I just looked at the picture of the Hawaiian.
That's
girl
what,
on it.
that's what captured me,
Of course it was what captured. It could have been anything in the can. Here you go.
mate. Don't drink that batch
That's
race,
in my
mate. That's not good for your lining, mate. Bloody red label.
And I've got the nice. I've got the American IPA, Shambles from the Shambles Brewery. I've almost got to roll it like this. It's got a tomahawk on it.
A bit like your the Chargers offense, mate. One big shambles on the weekend.
That was
What
I was gonna
unnecessary.
say, we should get those on as a sponsor. You know, Aussie guys sponsored by the Shambles. Pretty much things quite nicely, I reckon.
Cheers.
Sums up my kids dropping in on the podcast unannounced, and the Chargers offense.
Yes. And Benny, what are you drinking? You're more
just,
than us,
just,
you're drinking the glass.
I got the old the fancy glass out.
Yep.
Bit of a nice XPA from the local here, Bad Shepherd Brewery in Cheltenham. Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
Very good.
Well, Ben, if I had planned things better, mate, I would have had the hazelnut brown ale. I've got a half a side of that with the peanut butter stout.
Very good, that one, mate. I might be having one on Christmas Day, I reckon.
Oh, very nice.
Good.
Christmas Day's bubbles for me.
Oh, classic. Thursday night football, gents. The Rams, they literally ran all over the Patriots. Jared Goff, Cam Akers. Well, the story was Cam Akers. So a 24-3 win to the Rams. The rookie running back had 171 yards on 29 carries, in addition to 23 yards on 2 catches. He didn't get in the end zone, but every time they gave him the ball, and you could see that Rams head coach,
Sean McVay.
Just testing you. Sean McVay was having so much success with the run that he said, well, screw this. I'm just going to keep giving him the rock. There was no reason, really. And also, Jared Goff didn't look very convincing. So there's no reason, really, to go away from the run game. Cam Akers looked fantastic.
But now, was there something wrong with Cooper Kupp? Like, I watched, all the start. I came home from work and watched the third quarter.
Yep.
And I reckon I saw Cooper Kupp on the field twice. And once was for a touchdown.
Yep.
And that was it.
It was just just the focus on the run game.
Yeah, but everybody else is out there. Woods was out there. Reynolds was out there all the time.
Kupp was out there.
He was
out there very sporadically
on the run.
I like to see
the first half, but I don't know what
his snap count is.
Yeah,
because it would have been
horrible game.
Would have been 2.
I mean, the game completely changed. You know, first play of the second half. You know, Cam Newton tries a dump off that is taken to the house by Kenny Young, pick 6.
Yeah.
Just puts the game totally in the hands of the Rams. And like AJ says, why would they why would they have to throw the ball after that? So
Yes.
that kind of changed it really in the second half.
And I think he was sacked 11 times.
Yeah, Brockers. I think Donald got to him once, but Brockers got to him a couple of times.
Yeah, and there was a couple of others that that O-line just collapsed in that second quarter.
Yes, absolutely.
Now before while we're on this game, but more particularly the Cam Newton experiment in New England.
He was benched, by the way, too. For Stidham.
But I spoke about this when he first at the start of the season. His arm just lacks. He just has nothing like even the ball, the deep ball, sort of deep ball that he threw to N'Keal Harry, where he jumped over the top, which was a great catch, mate.
That was more on the receiver than the throw. The throw should have been way better than that.
Yeah, but just the action in which he threw was like he was putting everything into it, and it was just like, oh my god, is that's what's left?
Custard arm.
Yeah, I think it's shy. I think that the injuries has really taken a toll.
And the hits this year, have a look at what he does. He doesn't slide feet first. He goes head first, and there's often a bloke landing on a shoulder.
Dude, he's always run like that. And that was one of the biggest things that we spoke about when he first came out and after his first couple of years, AJ, when we started doing the pod, is I always said that he's an accident waiting to happen. Like
surely
he's a big guy, and the only thing saving him is his size.
Oh, his size, yes. Surely he's experienced enough to not do that.
No, I think he does rely on his. What is he? 6'5"?
6'5".
6'5".
What is he? 250.
Oh yeah,
245. Like he's a big dude.
He's a unit. Yeah.
But G, he's thrown for less than 200 yards in 9 of his 13 starts this season, and he's actually had 5 games under 100 yards passing.
Wow.
Like it's not even like the Patriots are kind of forcing him to throw the ball. They know as well. I reckon they know that he can't throw it. So it just baffles me that he's still there. I mean, if you're ever going to look at Stidham, now's the time, right? Like, you've got to just throw him in for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Well, maybe they just know what they've got in Stidham. That's the problem.
Which makes it a very worrying situation for them, particularly when you look at their running back room, their wide receiver room.
Well, Ben, just on that, you obviously watched the game as I did. That breakdown of, I think it was 2010 to 2019 draft selections by the New England Patriots of wide receivers, there is 2 of the 8 left in the league, and they're the 2 that are currently on the team, and one of them is N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're all out of the league. It is an absolute basket.
Never been good at picking wide receivers. That's been spoke about a lot, that Belichick's never been able to pick a wide receiver. You had Randy Moss, but that, like, mate, it's very easy to go and grab people when you already know what they're like. Yes,
Well, they did the same with Brown. I mean, all right, it went sideways with him because he's a nutcase, but that's, that was what they were trying to do. They were trying to recreate that Randy Moss TB12 thing.
I want to see what Josh McDaniels does here. Like how good is this guy? He's up Brady for
charges.
And he's done nothing, and now he's not got Tom Brady, and he's got to do something, and he's not really done anything. I don't think. I think he's one to watch. Like he's kind of been in and around for a head coach position, but I just don't get it with McDaniels at the moment.
Yeah, I suppose there's a little bit of that, Ben, and there's the fact that, mate, how much is he involved in who they draft?
Yeah,
don't know.
Well, Belichick's the DM, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and look, what's he got? What's he got to play with? He can only do so much.
But
he has done a lot with not much in the past.
Well,
it was that.
You got Tom Brady at quarterback, so
It's a big difference, isn't it?
We're seeing now that the shortfall that he made up.
Yeah.
The quarterback that he is. So
absolutely. All right, I'm going to keep things moving
yes,
along.
please.
All right. The big news of, I guess, last week's round, but sort of during the week, was the benching of Carson Wentz in favor of rookie Jalen Hurts, who's been named the starter this week's game against the Saints. Wentz's drop in performance is a major reason why the Eagles are 3-8-1 in a very ordinary NFC East, which is now being led by the New York Giants at 5-7. Fancy that. Now, Carson Wentz obviously has a massive contract, but his performance this year has been not good. What are they going to do with Carson Wentz?
Well, it doesn't help the fact that you go out and draft another quarterback.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Like you sign a contract. Like when did he sign the contract? It was only last
That was
year.
a massive contract.
It was only last year he signed the contract, and then you go and get another quarterback, and it's sort of like, okay, with someone like Aaron Rodgers going and grabbing a quarterback pissed him off, but Aaron Rodgers, he's been good that long, but it really put a firecracker up his ass.
Yeah.
And for some people that work, and for some people it doesn't.
No.
Different
it's
people.
like, it hasn't worked for Carson Wentz having this guy lurking behind him.
No.
Like look at the year before. I was looking it up. I don't know what the touch is, but he threw for like 4,200 yards last year.
Yep.
So what's happened? Well, I can tell you, went and drafted another quarterback,
Well, they did that injury history, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. Mate, there's a difference between going and getting someone who's had a good college career or everybody spoke about compared to getting a guy that can do a job for a few weeks.
But I think that, the situation they're in there, with the Giants and Washington winning last week, what they are, 3-7, they're kind of out of it now, right? So you might as well look at Jalen Hurts. I think they're probably clever enough that, let's face it, there'll be a few looking for quarterbacks this summer. And, they've spent the money on Wentz. So, there's no point, thinking, oh, well, we've got to start him because of the money. You can't think like that. You've just got to say, right, okay, we'll dangle him in the offseason. If somebody wants to take that contract, we're in a winner. We don't necessarily need to get a high draft pick for him. I reckon they'd accept a second, to be honest, if they think Hurts is the guy. And then you just roll forward because, whatever it is, he's got the whole stigma of Nick Foles won the Super Bowl. He didn't win the Super Bowl, even though he had a great year that year. And you know what the Eagles fans are like. They do not hold him in a high regard because of that either. So I think he goes somewhere next year. I think there's a big trade, whether it be during the draft or outside of that. I like him potentially to go somewhere like San Francisco, but I feel like the money might be an issue for them.
He could go New England, depending on what they can agree to. So I've just had a quick look up on what it was. It was 4 years, $128 million with 70 guaranteed.
Yeah, Andrew's given us some stats here. Thanks, Andrew. The Eagles are estimated to be $60 million over the salary cap for 21.
And that's an estimated, because remember it's going to be adjusted with the COVID stuff.
Oh, yes. That if they trade him, they're still on the hook for 35. It's going to be a
minimum
hard season. Yeah. Ganley says sunk costs are irrelevant. Well, yeah.
How do you like the Falcons for him there, G?
Sorry?
Would you take him at the Falcons?
What? What? Move on from Matt Ryan? No. No, Matt Ryan's probably still. We could probably. He's
got a few years.
He's got a few years left.
Yeah.
Gives us an opportunity. We've got another 3 years to probably only win, a few games.
Yep. A few
another good draft pick.
All right, I'm going to keep moving. All right. Wednesday. So Wednesday night football. We had Wednesday night football.
Wednesday afternoon.
Again, I don't know. Wednesday afternoon football. Yes, more correctly. The big story out of that, I think, was Dez Bryant, who didn't get a chance to take the field against his former team. It was something that he was no doubt looking forward to. He was deemed ineligible during warm-ups after testing positive for COVID. And certainly there was photos of him hugging Cowboys players and all sorts of things.
Good coaching staff and everything like that. Yep.
Removed from social media. And, you know, it sort of begs the question that how could you have a player test positive, but then you still go ahead with
and has tested
the
negative twice over this week.
Who has? Dez?
Yeah.
Really? He's tested negative twice this week?
Yeah, it's a false positive. It was a false positive. It was always going to be a false positive. This is the problem with these tests. And what a lot of people don't realise was they were not designed to test for COVID the way they're using them for. They were just designed to test the fact that there was COVID there, but not as COVID. It was the broad spectrum of the something that's in COVID and SARS and a number of other viral infections that have
you might have SARS.
well, Corona is a SARS, so they're calling Corona SARS 2.
Yeah. They're related, G.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Do I wear a white coat to work? Come on, I don't know this.
White overalls, don't you?
I don't wear overalls, mate. Come on.
I thought you didn't wear anything to work, G.
There has been the rare occasion, mate. I've been found naked. Yep. I just thought the owners were out. I didn't know they were coming back home.
When it's a particularly hot day, no air conditioning in the house.
It's warm, mate.
Why not?
It's warm.
Why not?
Well, I've still got jocks on, and they're white, so I'm sort of partly in my uniform.
I don't know about that.
I was going to say it's got to be hard to get paint off your privates, G.
No, they're going to get That's why. That's why you keep the jocks on.
Terps, oof.
Yeah, terps is not good.
Especially if you've had some. Especially if you do a bit of work down there, the terps would not be fun.
No,
that would be a fun experience. Moving right along.
Very deep hit-ish.
Yeah. Of frustration to not only Panther owners, but the fantasy community at large. CMC is not playing again.
Put your hand up if you're frustrated.
Everybody.
But I must admit, I do have Mike Davis in my back. Okay. So it's not like I've been losing out.
You're lucky.
Our fantasy owners also frustrated with Teddy Two Gloves.
And Teddy's been playing all right, hasn't he?
Was he a hot commodity post the trade to Carolina on pickup on waiver wires for you guys in the draft community? Sorry, in the fantasy community or not? And has he been as good as perhaps forecast?
Mate, you talk about the fantasy community as though we should be having a float in Sydney.
That's not what I'm getting at. You know that.
No, it's just the way that you say it. I don't like the way you say it. Your tone. I don't like your tone.
Look,
G, you are currently approaching AJ from the rear, so that's all I'll kind of say.
I know this dynamic is a bit weird, but I have to reach the computer. It's very hard to do it.
I enjoyed it. I just kicking back
Social
here.
distancing.
Got my leg up.
It's the days of our lives shot.
Yes.
Yes.
It
is your baby. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So Andrew's saying here the 3-9 Cowboys are not eliminated from the playoffs. If the NFL doesn't revisit the playoff format this off season, they never will. Not sure how I feel about the new playoff format. I think it's probably good news to have as many teams as possible.
Hey, Matty, I see Matty. Don't stop talking, Matty. Thanks for the trade. I need the second trade in the Assassin's League all year. Me and Matt.
Wow.
Well done. I picked the wrong week to do it. I should have been thinking a little bit better.
You should.
I let a guy that's going to score for me for a guy that's had to go home for personal reasons.
Gee, you're in that league. You were on top for like 90% of the year.
I know. And the last week, I was the worst team.
You shat.
I was the second worst team. The only reason I wasn't the worst because someone forgot to put in their roster.
Yeah, that's right.
And I dropped down to what was it, 5th?
Yes.
But that's fine. I'm still in the playoffs, mate. So
You are.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
I've got a few things bubbling too.
Good.
Just quietly.
Good.
There's
things you can take for that.
We need to work out that league.
Yep.
That league has been a bit of a shambles because someone forgot to do something when we said we meant to do it.
Dave can probably help with some medication suggestions.
Yeah. Okay.
For the things that are bubbling.
There may be a few shifty things going in that league and performed by myself.
Okay. All right. What was I up to? I already spoke about CMC.
Can't get mixing.
Darren Waller.
I'll give you a second.
Darren Waller had the 6th best tight end game of all time last week. 13 for 200 from 17 targets and 2 touchdowns. Quick quiz for you. I don't expect you to. This is actually very tough because I looked at the names. But
it was me.
What?
Well, I was the one who told everybody about Darren Waller. That's not the question.
No, that isn't the question.
Okay.
The top 25 tight end games of all time. Do you know who has the best one? It is a player from the modern era-ish.
Modern era-ish.
Yeah.
It's not the iceberg, is it?
No, it is not the iceberg. No, he's not even. He doesn't have one mention in the top 25, G.
Somehow I'd argue it would either be Antonio Gates or Tony Gonzalez.
No, it's neither.
Oh.
So when you're saying modern era, how far back are we going?
20 years. 20 years.
So in the 2000s? Okay.
Yeah, that's still modern era, isn't it?
Gronk had a 3 touchdown game in his first season?
Yeah, it's not.
But it's not Gronk.
It's not Gonzalez. It's not Gronk. No. They didn't have one mention in the top 25, Gronk or Gonzalez, believe it or not. And this player did he play 3 games in the top 25. This player.
Did he play for the Bucks?
No. Do you want me to tell you the team?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Broncos.
Oh.
Jeez. The Broncos.
Yeah. I probably have. Maybe it's 30 years.
Oh,
might not be 20 years.
Mate, I was hanging out in my BMX bike. No, I wasn't.
No, you'd know him. You know him. Shannon Sharp was.
Yeah, he's got it.
Oh, okay.
12 for. That's probably more like 30 years, isn't it, Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, it'd be
probably
mid to late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. 12 for 214 yards and 2 touchdowns. And believe it or not, in the top 25 tight end games of all time, Shannon Sharp has 3 of them. He is the most frequent person. Guess how many Travis Kelce has?
None.
Guess how many George Kittle has?
None.
2.
Oh, bugger.
Yeah, he's got 2 of them, including the number 3 game of all time, which was 7 for 210 and a touchdown. I don't know what that says about Kelce versus Kittle.
Are we talking about yards, are we? Or combined, like, fantasy total?
I'm talking about just a game, purely just game stats.
So what Gronk had a 3 touchdown game.
Yeah.
So what was his yards?
They'll be all short yardage.
Short yardage.
Oh, it's
red zone.
This is keying off yards primarily,
okay,
I think. So Jimmy Graham has 1 game.
I'll take the touchdowns because yards don't always win games.
He's at number 16 on the list. But anyway,
didn't get me.
I thought that was interesting because I feel like Kelce maybe is just more consistent on the overall, and Kittle can be a little bit sort of like this. Andrew's telling me, there you go. Shannon Sharp played from 1990 to 2003. See, 2000. See, there you go. 20 years. Did work. I was right, sort of. But he did have a long career.
It depends on when those games were played too.
Oh, yeah. I know. That's true. Okay, that's what I had on the news. G, what are we doing topic-wise?
Oh, topic-wise. Okay, tonight's topic. So it's the first week of the fantasy playoffs, unless you play in NFL managed leagues, like I've got a few just for a bit of fun.
Yep, kicking around.
They got another week to go. But I thought, well, the people that are playing off this week, usually the top 2 teams in leagues, if you have 6 in the finals, get a week off, bit of a breather. So you probably find that the rest of the teams are made up of guys that probably got some very good players, and then they've got some, okay players. That's the reason that they're at 5th or 6th and whatnot. They're not at the top of the list. So I thought what we'd do, we'd put together a team tonight purely based on that fact. So we're going to have a top 10 QB. We're going to have a top 15 running back. We're going to have a running back outside of the top 25, all from Fantasy Pro rankings this week. And the same for wide receiver, a top 15 wide receiver, a wide receiver outside the top 25. Our tight end is a top 10 tight end because most people have hopefully have a top 10 tight end. And then our flex position is someone outside of the top 25 at running back, tight end, or wide receiver. So that's how we're putting together. So we've got a bit of mix of everything, tonight.
Yep.
So that's how we're putting our teams together.
And I also tried not to go with the obvious.
Oh.
So when I texted you, G, I said, well, why couldn't I could just pick Patty Mahomes as my quarterback.
Yes, well, he's in the top 10. Why mate, I don't understand why you send me bloody texts. This is what it is. Top 10. Is he in the top 10? Yes. Mate, if you want to pick him, pick him.
No, I didn't.
Why don't we just completely get on with it? Because why would you not pick Paddy Mahomes as your QB if you had?
Well, I didn't.
There you go. He didn't. I didn't.
Five straight games over 300 yards. He's only had fewer than 20 fantasy points once this year, which was the snow game against the Broncos. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Le'Veon Bell, literally, that is not their offense. If they're going to go and play Miami at home, who are hunting for top spot in the AFC East, they're only one game behind the Bills, and the Bills have got the Steelers this week. They will come out to play. He has to go to Kelsey, Hill, Sammy Watkins. Big game for Paddy Mahomes this week. He is our QB1, mate. Who else?
AJ, who have you got?
I have Ryan Tannehill.
You do bullshit.
I do.
You can't.
Why not? Why not?
Go on.
I didn't want to go with the obvious.
Make your case.
Okay. So last week, as Dave knows all too well, the Titans lost to the Browns.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. Yep.
Oh.
Tannehill attempted.
Exciting for Brown supporters.
He attempted a season-high 45 passes, but failed to dig his team out of a 38-7 halftime deficit. Derrick Henry had a down game, but he's going to be bouncing back this week. Don't worry. Tannehill threw for 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He has passed for multiple touchdowns in 7 of his last 9.
Oh, good on him.
What do you mean good on him?
Yeah. I'm waiting for the case. So far.
And the Jags, who they're playing this week, given up the 2nd most passing yards and the 4th most touchdowns.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my QB this week, hold on. Where is it? Let me get his stats. I am going
Daniel Jones.
I am going Aaron Rodgers at Detroit. Mate, 2 weeks ago, Deshaun Watson put up 318 yards and 4 TDs with less to work with.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's debatable, Jeff.
Was the anabolic boy playing?
Yeah, he would have been.
He would have been playing?
Yeah, he would have been.
Okay, on only 25 attempts, he put those numbers up, right? Mate, the Lions seasonally are ranked 23 against quarterbacks. You think that's okay? The last 2 weeks are now ranked 27th. They're giving up 4 more fantasy points a week. So I like to look at the season and then look at the last 4 weeks because injuries start to take the toll. The season takes its toll. And you start to get a better reflection of how the team's going at the moment. Rodgers is QB5 on the season. In the last 4 weeks, he's been QB2. And since week 7, his lowest score that he lowest fantasy point total is 21.7. Mate, and that was against the Colts, whose defense is legit.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. They are ranked number 3 against QBs, and he still put up those numbers. Now, these are these numbers since week 7, okay? Included in that will be the 21. 27, 22, 28, 25, 21, 25, 23. He's thrown for 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3 touchdowns, mate. And they're against decent teams. Mate, he's playing the Detroit Lions this week.
Hey, G.
Mate, give me Aaron Rodgers.
Keep an eye on
Detroit Lions? Because this is not the Matt Patricia Detroit Lions. So what it...
Mate, all of a sudden, these football players become better all of a sudden. Mate,
no, they get to play free. Have you not heard the news coming out of Detroit?
Oh, okay, mate. Okay.
Ben?
Yeah.
No. Ben probably heard the same as I have.
Yeah, I have.
The blokes are feeling lighter because I think Matt had this Belichickian, almost Stalin-esque style of running things. Because if you didn't do as you're told, you ended up in a shallow bush grave somewhere out at Lake Michigan. Right. But the guys are talking about they're feeling freer, they're feeling lighter, they feel like they can have fun again playing football. They're the teams that are dangerous. You have a look at every AFL team, especially Richmond, who sacked 47 coaches in about 9 years, how many times they win the next week. And they'll keep doing it. They'll win a couple, they'll pop up, and they'll beat a team that shouldn't. This is one of those games that you need to keep an eye on. This is a trap game. But I'm not saying they're not going to score great fantasy points. I'm just saying if you're going a head-to-head, I wouldn't totally poo-poo the Detroit Lions.
Okay, and you know what happens when you cut off a chook's head, don't you? Everyone's running like a maniac.
Yep, for 30 seconds.
That could be, mate, it's lighter, it's freer, it's lost all this weight. Mate, and you see what happens to it, right?
High on paint fumes and only in underpants.
Mate, no control, and I don't. You can do whatever, mate. You're playing against Aaron Rodgers this week. You're up against Devontae Adams. You're up against Aaron Jones. Yeah, good luck with that feeling free stuff. You better bring it because believe it or not, you bloody professionals.
Yes, I know.
You get paid to play this game.
Look, G, I was, weighing up between Rodgers and Mahomes. I think it is a close one. I just feel like, whereas if Rodgers goes, bang, bang, bang 3 times to Devontae Adams, that could happen. Then Rodgers is more likely to lean on the run game, hand the ball off to Aaron Jones, and maybe his stats will suffer. Whereas I don't think Mahomes will do that. So, look, I think it'll be an interesting one because it's both gay. And also the other thing is the Lions, I feel like, they're getting DeAndre Swift back. Matt Stafford's got something to prove. So maybe it's more of a contest than we think it might be. So that plays into Rodgers' hands as well. So I'm with you, G. I think it's going to be, I think Mahomes and Rodgers are going to be the 1 and 2 this week at the top. And it just depends, the game script, I reckon.
Yeah, like Stafford's got something to prove. What? Why now? Why this week? Anyway, that's not against.
We should have a pen behind his ear staring at him.
That's right.
But mate, Matt Stafford's had something to prove a lot without someone standing on the side with an unused pencil. That's why I got the arse, mate. That pencil never got used. He wasn't doing anything. So okay, let's move on to running back.
Okay.
All right.
Dave, did you pick a quarterback?
Dave's QB.
Dave's QB for this week. Deshaun Watson.
He's in the top 10? He must be.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Sure he is. Brady at the Vikings with a week off.
Mate, I mean, Matt, the number 1 ranked corner last week was Jeff Gladney. And that Vikings defense is, I think, underrated. Like, even without Eric Kendricks last week, they got it done. And I think it might be a tough one there for Brady. I think it'll be a shootout, so he's got a chance. But I don't know. I like to see, potentially maybe Evans struggle this week, I reckon. And I don't know. Tom Brady, really? Come on.
Mate, the Vikings got it wrapped up, mate. They got the best wide receiver in the competition now. Like his first year, and he's all of a sudden number 1
Jefferson.
wide receiver in the NFL.
Some might even call him the number one rookie from this class, G.
No, he's not the number one rookie from this class.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, mate, you can't. We could have this discussion.
He's not even the best Justin.
No, exactly right. And I agree with what Andrew put, and he's not. Mate, how do you take it away from what Justin Herbert
just
did?
from one game?
One game, mate. He's had four games where he's done absolutely nothing. If you're going to talk about, we're going to pull out individual games for. Mate, he's a quarterback, for Christ's sake.
I'm not saying Jefferson hasn't been impressive.
No, I'm not saying that either. He
looked amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think Ben takes a little bit to heart, mate.
Really?
I think Ben's poking the funny.
I don't think I'm biased at all.
Listen, he's been good, but nah.
Okay, let's get on to this running back.
Okay, running back. All right, I'll go first. Derrick Henry. Don't laugh at me because honestly,
mate, the Tennessees are in for a big week this week.
They are in for a big week this week. So he was bottled up last week, and it's pretty rare to see him bottled up. The Brownies did it. They held him to 15 carries, 60 yards, which is actually 3 yards shy of his season low rushing total. He had lost a fumble as well. But he does top the NFL in carries at 271, rushing yards 1,317, and 12 rushing touchdowns, although Dalvin Cook has 13. And the Jags D is giving up the 5th most rushing yards and the 9th most rushing touchdowns. I think it's going to be a big day for Derrick Henry.
They are angry.
Mike
Vrabel was livid at the end of it. Like halfway through the game, obviously, apparently the Cleveland team was winning by quite a margin.
I believe so.
I believe so. Yeah, I heard a rumor. And he was squatting on the sideline and he looked dejected. Derrick Henry, when he was stopped on that 4th and short, and they pulled out the chains, he actually looked dejected. And then the next play, or maybe a couple of plays later, Sheldon Richardson caused that fumble. Now, Derrick Henry, like Ezekiel Elliott up until this year, were two of Fort Knox hands. They didn't fumble the ball. He looked dejected and genuinely disinterested. If they can remember,
interested, mate.
He did during that game, but wouldn't you? Essentially, a game that was over at halftime, and there's a reason they came back, but I won't go into that boring stuff. They will come out and absolutely skin the Jaguars or Jaguars or Jaguars, depending on which part of America and Australia you come from.
Right.
Dave, AJ, right game, wrong running back. Let's talk about James Robinson. Come on, how can you not? G had him in his team the other week for your undrafted rookie guy. 2 games.
He's cute.
1 touches in the last 2 games. 267 yards, 2 TDs. He's finished inside the top 12 running backs in 7 of his last 11 games. And I tell you what, the Titans are not great out of the backfield. Like, they're not pass-catching running backs do well. Robinson's averaging 6-7 targets a game out of the backfield alongside, pretty much every single rushing carry. And funnily enough, he's ranked the 3rd running back for Fantasy Pros this week, which I had to look twice, because how often do you get an undrafted rookie having a season like him? And if Justin Jefferson doesn't win the Offensive Rookie of the Year, James Robinson should.
And who's the number 1 ranked?
I can argue with that one, Benny. I agree.
Who is the number 1 ranked running back?
On Fantasy Pros.
Yes.
No,
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson's not bad.
Who was it, G?
I don't know. I'm just making it. I can't remember.
It was Derrick Henry.
Probably Derrick Henry.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
probably.
I've got a feeling.
Maybe the second.
I've got a feeling, G, the number 2 is going to be the guy that comes out of your mouth in about 3 seconds.
It is, because last time he played against his team, he ran for 168 yards, 68 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns, 45.6 fantasy points, and that man is Aaron Jones. And they are going to lay a shitstorm on the headless chooks of Detroit this week. The Lions are ranked 32 against RBs, giving up 32 fantasy points a week. They have given up the most TDs, 16, the fourth most yards with 1,351, the most receiving TDs, and we all know that Aaron Jones can do that as well, with 7, the third most receiving yards to running backs at 582. Mate, how is he not this week the number 1 running back in the NFL?
So hang on a minute, G.
Sorry, they're playing lighter. Sorry.
If Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 6 touchdowns, and Aaron Jones is going to run for 4 touchdowns, how many? What's the score going to be?
Look, mate, he's going to throw 4 of those 6 to Aaron Jones out of the backfield. It's easy to. Mate,
so Aaron Jones is going to score 8 touchdowns this year.
No.
4 receiving, and then Laviska Shenault's going to get a late trade to go to Green Bay and get 2. Is that right?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, no, mate.
They don't need him.
He doesn't need 3 this week. Give me 2 and 120 yards, mate. I'm done. No other running backs doing that this week.
No.
Easy. I don't know how you guys didn't even have him in there. That's just absolutely,
So
logic.
The over under for that game, G, is 55 points. And that's just for Green Bay, is it?
That's just for Green Bay.
And funnily enough, Ben, the desert isn't taking bets on it, mate.
There you go.
Hey, mate, I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished. Let's keep going.
Now, Dave, did you have a running back?
Top 20.
You know it's going to be. It's going to be.
No, Chubby's great, man. I love Chubby.
Chubba.
Oh, mate, he should. Mate, just when you think, okay, that's he can't get any more yet, bang. He got another 5.
So one of the things I have been frustrated with probably the last 2 seasons when people compare Henry, and this is game to game. This isn't fantasy, and I'll be really quick, AJ, I promise. Henry needs a run-up because of his size and power, right, to hit the line or break through it. But you watch Chubb, he'll sidestep, turn his torso 90 degrees and run that way and cut through a hole. He doesn't change speed. He'll actually pick up speed through that change of direction. Henry hits the line through pure power. And to be honest, I reckon while he's running great numbers, look at who they've played. Yes, we can all say that because we're this late into the season. But Henry is missing Jack Conklin. That's just my humble opinion.
Yeah, I reckon I'm going to have to go and have a look at the end of the season when it's all said and done about Derrick Henry and just go and have. I think he's got better vision than people actually give him credit for.
I don't doubt his vision, but he needs that run up. He doesn't have.
I'm not denying he doesn't need the run up.
He doesn't have that fleet of foot. He needs that. He's almost like he's a battering ram. He's like
a 45-degree cutter, mate.
Yeah.
He's not a 90-degree cutter like Chubby.
Yep.
And I think the impressive thing, Dave, is he's only played 8 games this year, and he's approaching 900 scrimmage yards, and he's still got 7 touchdowns as well, and that's with Kareem Hunt in the team as well. Yeah. So, that's impressive, really is.
Yeah, except he stepped out 1 yard and killed me.
Well, that I'm sorry for.
Mate, I lost by 0.9 of a fan. You know what 0.9 is, Dave? That's 1 step.
It is. It's a yard.
It's a yard.
Yeah. Now this brings up a really interesting point. Now, I was watching the last of that, and I went, you can be cheeky, and you'll probably end up upsetting a lot of people, but you give it to Chubb on the goal line after the 3rd down, become a 4th down, and run it over for a touchdown. There's your 0.9.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, but but you're going to upset people. You know what I mean? Like,
I wasn't upset, mate.
No, but you know what I mean.
It's football. He did a football thing. It was smart.
Yeah,
it was bloody good play. Like it up
as opposed to whom?
Todd Gurley. I think Todd Gurley.
he had a brain fart. His eyes lit up to the end zone and then went, "Oh shit, I'm supposed to stop." And he just was like me rolling out of bed.
I think they should have said to him, mate, if you get tackled, just go down.
Yeah,
like he broke one, got through a second, and gone. Shit, maybe that second one was one too many.
Yeah.
So,
he did that. I'm free.
Yeah. It's a bit like AJ when he's out and he picks up some girl and she's probably thinking, I'm
on the dance floor.
I shouldn't have had that last drink. Make
that
bad decisions. All right. So now we come to a running back that's outside our top 25.
Yes.
For our eliminator team.
Yep.
Benny, who you got?
Well, I've got a guy who's going to benefit from an injury this week. I've got J.D. McKissick in Washington.
So do I. Yeah. Anyway,
so
you go.
We all know that probably Antonio Gibson's going to miss that game.
Peyton Barber.
Yeah, that's fine.
Peyton Barber?
Yeah, but they're up against the Saints, G. Who look, I think everybody knows that trying to run the ball against the Saints is pretty tough. But what they are struggling with is coverage at linebacker, and so basically McKissick's going to be rolling out, off the edges, little, what Alex Smith does best, little jump passes to him, and he's just going to run and run and run. Damn. He saw 10 targets last week. He's seen 15 targets in a game previous this season. Like, particularly if you're in a PPR, format, McKissick is the perfect RB2 for this week.
He killed the Steelers. That was like death of 1,000 cuts. It was brutal, but that is exactly what Alex Smith does. That's Alex Smith's MO, totally. Yeah. You're right. I had McKissick as well. So,
and I'm proud to say that I tipped Washington in our tip-em competition. I tipped Washington.
You did?
I did. Hand on heart.
Who are they playing?
They were playing the Steelers. Because after that game against the Ratbirds and the game previously, they didn't look great. And I thought they were absolutely right for the picking.
Oh, there's no doubt that the Steelers didn't look like an 11-0 team. And
the fact that they've picked up Eric Ebron, who's got hands of concrete, I laughed like I was watching it. And him dropping catches after catch, I went, pretty sure this is his highlight reel from Indianapolis.
Some of those drops were so embarrassing.
He had a good year at Indy. He was the number 4 tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, he had one.
Yeah, you got a lot of red zone, though. You got a lot of red zone.
It doesn't matter, mate. Points to points.
Yeah, I
don't care where they're coming from.
You got to catch it no matter where it happens, don't you?
Yeah. That's why you're in fantasy, isn't it?
That's why you never got Corona. When COVID went through the Steelers, mate, he couldn't catch it.
All right.
Side note on this game. This is for me a game that I will watch like on full, probably on Game Pass, or even catch it live. Taysom Hill going up against that Washington front. That's intriguing to me. You don't often see
destroy him.
Yeah, you don't often see a quarterback coming in who he's looked good, on the ground. He's also looked pretty all right, in a couple of games against pretty bad defenses. But this is a complete, mismatch for me. Like, Washington are young, Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat last week was outstanding. Like, that is one of the best games, from a defensive end I've seen this year. And I tell you what, Washington, they could win this as well.
Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it at all. Pay some cash on the hill. I reckon he's going to get eaten by Sweat. I hope he does.
I don't know what that looks like.
AJ's never been eaten by Sweat.
No.
He couldn't crack one. Mate doesn't exercise to first one up.
That's harsh. Anyway, G, tell us about your running
back. I was going to put Jamal Williams in here just to keep the route going for the. I didn't.
No,
I didn't do it.
No.
Calm down. Come back, Betty. Come back. Now, I've got a couple, and I couldn't decide between the two. Like, I was going to put down Ty Johnson, who's up against the Seahawks this week, because we had Frank Gore who left with a concussion last week. Mate, he ended up having like 22 carries for 104 yards and a TD. But I believe Frank Gore will. Well, I don't think he's ever missed a game through concussion.
Really?
So I doubt that this will be the first one.
The fact that Frank Gore is older than I am, are we sure it's concussion and not dementia?
No.
Oh, he's getting.
That's harsh.
Mate, I tell you, he runs 100.
I'm being facetious. I know
you are, mate. I know, but
I love the bloke. He's a legend.
Mate, he's fantastic.
He's got to get a gold jacket.
Mate, based on what the Steelers did last week, and Snell had his opportunity and didn't take it, I'm going to put James Conner in there this week, up against the Bills, who are ranked 26 on the season to running backs.
Benny and I got the same face. What?
No, and 28th in the last 4 weeks. Mate, every time he's only missed 2 games, right? The last 2 games he's missed with COVID. 3 times this year he's already scored over 12 fantasy points, under 12, right? And he's only scored under 15 once. Mate, everything else is above, every other game is above 15 fantasy points. And everybody knocks James Conner, but yet, mate, he gives you 15 plus fantasy points basically every week. So I don't get why people are shaking their heads. And he's going up against the 28th ranked in the last 4 weeks Bills defense against the run.
What was the
there you go.
What was the criteria for this position?
No, he's ranked number 30 in this week in Fantasy Pros.
Is that total, is it?
What's that?
Is that total running backs, wide receivers, tight ends?
No, mate. That is where he's ranked this week in running backs. He's
really?
Number 30. So
the 30th ranked running back in the NFL.
According to Fantasy Pros this week is where we take these teams from. We use,
their
data.
I'm just reiterating.
So there you go. Only 3 times this season has he been under 12. No, sorry. Only 3 times this season has he been had low scores. Once under 12 and once under 15. Missed 2 games. Everything else has been above 15 fantasy points every week. And I don't reckon you can say that about guys that are outside the top 25.
No, you probably can't. You're right. Yeah,
so there you go.
Okay.
All right. That screwed you guys over. Come with some
bloody
data, mate. Come with my whiteboard, my pen, and my fucking highlight marker.
You've done well to justify your selection.
That's all I have to do. That's all I
have to do. And we'll all laugh when he fails.
When he fails, okay.
The only thing I'll say about James Conner is, the Steelers don't really run the ball, even when they're way ahead. They've got so many mouths to feed there with the receivers that that's Big Ben all over. Like, even trying to check down to a running back's pretty tough for him because of his mobility now. So really, I just can't see the Steelers living with the Bills this week. It's going to be, I think they're going to be playing catch up, and I think that's going to really hurt Conner.
Okay. That's okay.
And I agree with Benny, because I know that mobility scooter is hard to turn right when you.
Mate,
I'm just going to meet your stats, G, with a bit of.
But they don't look they haven't looked the same without James Conner in the lineup. Now, whether or not you think he's any good or not,
no,
that's true. That is true.
They haven't looked the same offense without him there.
No, but he does offer that better quality chip block and pass pro.
Yes,
because they love to pass the ball.
A couple of weeks ago, G, we talked about, I think, our players who we needed to do well in the second half of the season. I think maybe that was me and you, AJ, and I picked James Conner because I do have him quite a bit, and he's been pedestrian, I think, as a RB1, which people drafted him as an RB1. Let's don't forget. I think he's a good choice for this week for sure for you. Wrong, but good.
Yeah. Dave is getting serious with his drinking here. He's hitting the wild turkey. So
okay, wide receiver.
Happy
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Who's going first, G?
I'll go first. I haven't been first yet.
Okay, you go first, as long as you don't pick who I've got.
Okay. Top 15 wide receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
This week.
Mm-hmm.
Just happens to be playing in Detroit. Believe it or not. This is a rout. This is just the Lions might as well not even turn up.
Well, it's obvious who it is.
Yes, is Devontae Adams. How do you not have him?
Green Bay's only got one wide receiver.
Mate, the Lions are ranked 31st. In the last 4 weeks, they are giving up on average 51.3 fantasy points to wide receivers.
Have we actually got any Lions fans listening? Because they're not anymore.
Sorry,
Okay.
You're
Brandon,
entertaining them.
Tell me the current score in the Green Bay and Detroit game.
57-3. They got a field goal.
57-3.
goal.
Are we at
That's a
half
garbage
time?
time.
Are we at
Garbage
half
time
time?
field goal.
That's a garbage time field goal. Mate, it doesn't, mate, everybody can put up points. Everybody can put up points for me this week. They've given up the most yards of 961 yards. They've almost 1,000 yards in 4 weeks. They've given up to wide receivers. Mate, he has been insane since week 7, the same time that bloody Aaron Rodgers really started knuckling down. He wasn't, but on his hot streak, mate, it is what's the word I'm looking for?
Correlated.
That's the word I'm looking for. With Devontae Adams, mate. This is, mate. Just listen. This is out of control. This has been his last 7 weeks. 44.6, 30.3, 33.3, 18.6. Oh, geez, you let us down. 18.6, 23.6, 18.1, and 34.1, mate. So if you don't have him as your number one wide receiver, you have, mate, Dave, you must have something that you carry in the back, you know, in a give these guys, because that is out of control.
Just a shot of adrenaline, really.
But then again, his last outing against the Lions, he went for 36 yards, but that was before week 7. Okay, so done. There we go.
I've got someone better.
Other guys I thought about: DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen.
No, don't
Adam
name all
Thielen,
the.
and
Hey,
Mike Evans.
don't take all the players.
Okay, I'm just saying there are other guys I looked at, and they're all you know, could have very easily been the guy. But mate, the dude's numbers are insane.
You still didn't mention the player that I've got.
When did wide receivers put up numbers like that in fantasy football seriously in a 7-week span?
Yeah.
We should look that up, because I reckon that's.
Well, you probably need to read
control.
it too with the rule changes with protection on QBs.
Well, we're not going to talk about it. We've already spoke about that.
He's a candidate for regression, G.
I think, you know, quarterbacks have become princesses and the tiaras will drop off if you touch them. But
well, that's clearly what happens, because they get flags thrown unless, of course, you wear apparently number 6.
Please.
Yeah.
All right, go. AJ.
I think Andrew makes good. Mason Crosby is going to. Mason Crosby is your kicker. Well,
mate, he's only going to make Mason Crosby's only going to give you 9 points this week because he's going to kick 9 extra points. That's all he's doing. He's not kicking field goals.
No,
he's giving you nothing.
Okay. They might be having garbage time from 50, G. Just so you get 50, you get yards plus the points.
No,
okay,
no, just 3. Field goal, you just get 3.
Okay, so my wide receiver is the runner-up in the Justin of the Year award, and that's Justin Jefferson.
Mine too.
Yay! Justin Jefferson. The Vikings are at Tampa Bay. He's now clearly in the conversation as a wide receiver 1. I don't think we, no doubt there. And I think this is exactly what the Vikings needed after, it just took a while. It took a while for Jefferson to find his legs, but you needed this opposite Thielen after losing Diggs. That's what Cuz needs. He can't work with just Thielen. He needed some other target, and he's definitely got that. Jefferson is currently now 61 receptions for 1,039 yards and 7 touchdowns. And I have a feeling that is like record setting for a rookie. Is that right? Ben will know.
Yeah, that's right. And he's got 6 top 15 wide receiver finishes in his last 9 starts, 4 TDs in his last 3 games, and he's going up against the Tampa Bay defense that allowed 200 yards and 3 touchdowns to Tyreek Hill a couple of weeks ago. And you know,
hold on.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson.
He's not Tyreek Hill. However, what he is, he's a guy that is one of the best route runners to come out of this class.
I love how you say route. That's great. Say it again.
Yeah. Route runners.
I get a chubby every time you talk about it.
And
we renamed it a 24.
And he's lining up everywhere across this offense. People cannot deal with this guy. He has averaged 13 targets over the last 3 games. He's just a monster. And, you know, Minnesota hasn't seen a wide receiver like this since Randy Moss. And I tell you what, I'm very, very certain that Justin Jefferson is going to be a wide receiver 1, a first-round pick in fantasy drafts come next year.
Wow.
Ooh. Big call.
That is a big call. He could squeeze in there.
Okay.
Dynasty.
So, okay. Are you talking dynasty or redraft?
Dynasty.
Startup dynasty leagues.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not talking redraft.
No.
Okay.
He'd be a solid second round in redraft. So wouldn't he?
Yeah. I reckon
I was going to say if someone. So who's dropping out?
Of what, the top 12?
Yeah.
Well, Michael Thomas will probably drop out, won't he?
Yeah.
Odell.
Yeah.
Oh, Odell's not a first. He's not a first round pick though. He wasn't a first round pick this year.
Wasn't okay.
Michael Thomas?
No.
No.
Michael Thomas was.
Yes, Thomas.
Yeah.
Thomas was. Yes.
What about DeAndre Hopkins? He slipped a bit last year.
Yeah, he was. I don't think he was a first. I don't think he was he
first. Yeah.
In dynasty
Probably
leagues.
late first.
Okay.
Late first.
Okay.
I would say.
All right. Yep. All right. Okay. Ben, I take it yours was Justin Jefferson as well.
It was.
Yeah, it was. And funnily enough, it was a bit of a toss-up between him.
Funny enough. Yeah.
Him and Stephon Diggs, obviously, you know, who he replaced, because Diggs has been. I mean, I don't know if anybody watched the Bills-Niners game, but Stephon Diggs was just unbelievable. Like, again, you know, great route runner and just a guy who you want to root for as well. You know, he's just exciting. He's
you want to root for him while he's on a route, or you want to route for him while he's on a route?
Yeah.
I gotta be careful when I'm in the nightclub saying that, to be fair.
Yeah.
What bus route are you on?
Yeah, but yeah, like I really think we should be talking about Diggs here as well. But I'll let Dave move on to his.
Oh, he's his Jarvis Landry. All right, let's keep going.
No.
No.
I was tossing up between and I'm hoping Jez got the numbers.
No.
Hey, Rashad Higgins has done me a lot of favors, Dave.
And DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Okay, fair call.
I just want to say,
as much as I'm a homer, and you blokes, I love it because you're hanging on for it. I do genuinely love, like, I'm listening to Jefferson. I love him. Like, I love watching these blokes streak down the field, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But Fuller and Hopkins, they're just 2 blokes. And I've also written down.
Hey, Fuller's not playing, dude.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, this is what I was saying. I needed to check because I wasn't.
He's on the drugs, dude. He's been getting in the back of your ambulance, mate. He's got busted.
Well, there you go. Okay, so the other ones were Scary Terry, CD Lamb, and DK Metcalf, same as you. Because of who they're playing, the potential for ripping the top off it is going to be massive.
Very good. Andrew's just chimed in with a Cousins factoid. He's the only quarterback in the NFL's thrown for at least 3,000 yards and 25 touchdowns in each of the last 6 seasons. There you go.
He's on
the hair out of place.
The only quarterback in the NFL who hadn't won a Monday Night Football game until about 2 weeks ago. So there's so many great facts about Cousins. You could write a book on it.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'll keep this show moving.
Yeah, keep
AJ
it moving.
does a terrible job of it. Okay. Your wide receiver outside of the top 25.
Yes.
Is Ben.
It's the late season renaissance from one of our favorite veteran wide receivers. Let's go to Indianapolis and talk about T.Y. Hilton. He is currently, against the Raiders, who are absolutely, they're a joke in the secondary, pretty much. Like they nearly gave up the game to the Jets last week.
I didn't talk about that. Oh,
Hilton has had 191 yards, 2 touchdowns on 12 catches from 19 targets in the last 2 weeks. And, we think that he is done. He is not done. He is perfectly placed to have this amazing run in the fantasy playoffs. And he was on waivers in half my leagues this week. Like
wow.
He is like the forgotten man, and he's been putting up, wide receiver 10 numbers. So a little bit like your James Conner pick here, G.
Yeah, right.
A solid guy who's coming into his own with Phillip Rivers.
He's like the middle child. Been forgotten.
Was it a bit? Was the Greg Williams thing a bit like, oh shit, it looks like we're actually going to bloody win this game? Was that a bit like that?
No.
Damn, what are we doing?
He fell on the sword. Is that what
no,
you're saying?
No.
Well,
When he rushed, they rushed basically the whole defense.
Zero. But can I just?
He did have a corner playing on him, didn't he? Like you still that dude.
Yeah, he was an undrafted free agent from.
No, he had Lamar Jackson. It's Lamar Jackson, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what.
Oh, sorry, he's a sixth round pick, or he was an undrafted free agent, but it wasn't. It was a different Lamar. But anyway, so James Laurenitis, former Saints and Rams middle linebacker, was in a similar situation with Triple G at the Rams, and he did the same thing. So it wasn't out of the box. Greg blitzes. That's
what I do, man.
That's his gym. Damn.
That's what I do. That's how I hit the dance floor. Just all out blitz because you're bound to get one.
You're bound to get one.
But the thing was,
it's 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m., isn't it? And you're sending out the all-out blitz.
Yeah.
Nothing good happens after 2. That's why I still have it.
They put the lights on. That's what kills you after 2.
Damn. So James Laurenitis, who's a Buckeye Hall of Famer, plus obviously with as I said, Saints and Rams, said Triple G did that in LA or St. Louis with him, and he's done it. And other players have said that he's done it before to put the pressure on. And now let's be honest, we've seen Derek Carr over the last few years. He has been known to crumble under that sort of pressure and overthrow a ball like that. The fact that he has nailed that pass should actually be praised for the fact that he didn't overthrow it, or the receiver had fast enough legs to catch up to it.
Mm.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a go at him for doing it, mate. Pressure. Looking forward to that.
Campy's the best. You got to get Campy. He's the best.
We'll make a good combo, mate. Don't you worry. You and me, we got the whole floor covered.
Is though if they all out blitz and sack Carr or whatever, Greg Williams is not going to be credited with that win, is he? Like people are going to go, "Oh, what a great way to end the game."
Correct. We're still going at him, guys.
Yeah, he literally had everything to lose with that call, and he still made it. That speaks, that's like if G picks Robert Tonyan as his tight end. Do you know what I mean?
What's wrong with Robert Tonyan?
Exactly. What's wrong with Robert Tonyan this week?
The guy is on fire.
He is.
And
But you got to remember though,
It's Devontae Adams,
Mate,
Aaron Jones, and Robert Tonyan.
Mate, someone's going to catch that ninth TD.
Yeah,
Might
as well.
All right, AJ, you got somebody?
Yeah, I do. I've got Debo Samuel. Now Debo has
seriously. You went through the whole, and there's someone sitting there that I thought I might be a homer this week.
You might be a homer, or I
might be a homer.
No, I went Debo Samuel. So, Debo Samuel against the Rams in week 12 was 11 for 133 on 13 targets. It's taken a while for Debo to come back into the offense and gain some health, essentially. He didn't really play a part against the Bills, and that was a mistake by Shanahan until the game was over. Still, he had 6 for 93 from 9 targets. And the Washington D, which is seen as legit.
Yes.
Washington D is legit.
Absolutely.
They're going to use Debo, and they will have to get him involved in lots of different ways in the offense. So he is a little bit of a versatile weapon.
Okay.
Debo Samuel. Okay. Yes, Debo Samuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good pick.
Thank you.
Okay.
I agree.
Sarcasm. My boy this week, mate, out of the Chargers. Okay, didn't have a great week last week.
Mike Williams.
But no, Mike Williams up against the Falcons. Mate, on the season, the Falcons have given up an average 43 fantasy points. They're ranked 31st. I must admit, in the last couple of weeks, they've been getting better since they sacked somebody. They've done a lot. They let the wrong guy go. But, mate, Williams averages close to 7 targets a game. He's only had 1 TD through the last maybe 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
But he's coming up against the Falcons, mate. They're averaging close to 9.5 yards per target, 31st ranked in the league. Mate, he's going to be either seeing probably a combination of AJ Terrell and Darquez Darnold, mate, who've been less than smothering as corners this year. Mate, they have allowed the receivers to catch almost 75% of the ball thrown their way for 859 yards and 6 TDs.
Defender's obviously a loose term.
It's a very loose term in Atlanta. And I think this could be the week for Mike Williams to, they've all got something to prove. After the disaster of last week.
Shellacking. Yeah, gee.
And here comes the number 1 best Justin in the league.
The best rookie Justin.
The best rookie Justin.
Yep.
So he's my Mike Williams this week. Certain touchdown this week for.
That's nice. No, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Should. Ben, who did you have?
T.Y. Hilton. I had T.Y.
Oh, you did. Yeah. And Dave had Jarvis Landry. No,
no, CD Lamb's in the bottom 25.
Well, actually,
the only problem I have CD Lamb at the moment is like
his teeth.
No, they just got to get him more involved in the red zone, sort of like he's playing a tough position. I think he's doing like he's not putting up the numbers, obviously, but we've argued this point to death. True. But mate, what he's been asked to do? What's that?
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Who?
He's a Browns wide receiver.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Caught a 75-yard TD.
He's a rookie, isn't he?
Mate,
hasn't he?
Yeah. And he didn't do his hammy? Hasn't he like stepped on the field a couple of times?
Out
bang,
of
hammy, bang, hammy, bang, hammy.
He's not Nakai Cockatoo.
Who's that?
The bloke that we just traded from Geelong to Brisbane, who did his hammy doing laps around the oval.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It's close to it, though.
Yeah.
Close to it.
No.
Flex spot. Mate, let's not go on to AFL, dude, on this show because you're talking to the wrong person. All right? You're talking. I can sit back and just bask in all this glory and sunshine.
Well, when you get the book, I'll get you the author to sign it because he's a mate of mine.
What book?
When you get the book,
I don't read, dude. Is it come on audio? Does he? Could we sign an audio file for him?
Audio. This is him signing an audio book.
That's beautiful. That's all I need. Okay. Flex position.
No. What about tight end?
Oh, we got tight end.
Yeah.
Tight end.
Well,
Gee.
hurry up. Come on.
Do it quick.
Talk about Robert Tonyan for 5 minutes. Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first then?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Robert Tonyan.
Robert.
No.
No. I got Travis Kelce against Miami. Mate, hey, you're stupid if you don't. And if you guys, two guys, don't have him.
I don't have him.
Oh. Well,
I don't have him. I don't have him.
You don't?
Me too.
Ben has him.
No, I don't have him.
Oh, you don't?
Dealing with a pack of morons. How do I do this show?
Well, I've got Darren Waller versus Indy.
Indy.
Yes, and I know Indy's defense is legit, but that's why you got to give it to Waller because number one, I don't think Josh Jacobs is going out there this week for one, and also they've got to get.
Most fantasy teams have fallen apart at the wrong time of the year.
Yeah, I know. They've got to move the ball somehow, and I
I'm
think
going with
Darren
Pete.
Waller.
It's time to
Obviously, he's not going to get 200 yards again, but I'm saying he's going to get a lot of targets. I think he has to for the Raiders to move the ball this week.
Mate, this is the same scenario as me and Ben on the dance floor, mate. You can't hit 100% with hot looking chicks it just doesn't happen. And he's not going to hit the hot looking chick this week, Darren Waller. He's going to get what's that movie with Jack Black and where he sees people for who they really are. So the ugly girls look really hot and the hot girls are
Shallow.
Yeah. He's
Shallow G.
Yeah, no. I don't, mate. I'm sorry, mate. I don't go to anything above my ankles, mate. That's how shallow I am.
Come on here. Like G's been in the shallow end for a long time.
Mate. I'm in the kiddie pool shallow, mate. That's where I'm at. So who have you got, Ben?
Well, I looked at it and I did a bit like AJ. I was like, well, it is Travis Kelce. You're being a bit of an idiot to pick someone else. So I thought, well, I'll be an idiot. So I picked Mike Gesicki because, he's not really a tight end, as we well know. He pretty much lines up in the slot half the time there in Miami. He's got 40 yards and a TD in 5 straight games. And he's 9 for 91 and a TD against the Bengals last week. We talked about how, the Dolphins are chasing the Bills there. And they've got KC. And KC are their defense, particularly against tight ends, not great. So I think that, Tua is finding that Gesicki's his little comfort blanket there, and he'll keep
barbecues.
I thought there was talk today of Tua not starting. I thought the Beard was starting again, but I could be wrong.
No, mate. I started Fitzpatrick in a league last week because everybody said he was starting. Then they go
Me
on
too.
like,
Me too.
Fantastic. It wouldn't have helped me anyway.
I could be wrong. I thought I heard today around the traps.
Yeah, I think either way, though, right? You're pretty happy if Fitz is there anyway because he's going to wear it out as well, and he's probably going to get into a big
break. Yeah.
But I thought
junk time TD for Gesicki when they're like 24 points down.
Oh, hey G, let's do a bit of a right. So what should we put on it? A spiced rum cruiser of your choice, okay?
Yeah.
Gesicki outscored Kelce this week.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah, what, 6-pack?
Well, let's start with one and see how we go.
Oh, you tight ass. You're talking about me being shallow. You're a tight ass.
Well, I can't meet you in a pub and say, "Can I have a 6-pack of cruisers, please?" I've got to buy it one drink at a time.
I'm at the house, mate. You don't want me in your house. That's what it is. That's okay. I understand. I have a bit of a foul tongue sometimes. That's okay.
And if he's
let's do the 6-pack,
so.
Yeah, and I could get naked. I could get naked, Benny. So you got to be careful.
Well, that escalated.
G, let's do it. Let's do it both ways. Yeah. So Gesicki outscores Kelce, and Mahomes outscores.
Oh, okay. So we'll do a combo score. Whoever put them together. Combo score. Okay, I like the combo.
We went from nudity to doing it together, and now we've combined it to a combo score.
Combo. If AJ wants to get in, making a menage. Woo!
Ay, caramba.
Yes. AJ, have you got a tight end?
I told you, Darren Wallace.
Sorry. Flex position. Let's move.
Yeah, I've got a flex position.
Let's try and get this under an hour and a half. We got 4 minutes.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you?
30,
Do you want me to tell you my flex?
55.
He said
54,
nervously.
52.
What?
51. 50. I'm counting down.
Oh, okay.
Hey?
Okay. My flex is Naheem Hines. I'm waiting for the reaction.
It's a solid. It's a solid flex. It's a solid flex.
Yeah. I reckon it is too. In week 10 against the Titans, he had 10 for 70 and 1 touchdown rushing, and 5 for 45 and 1 receiving. He averages 12 touches and 53 combo yards per game, with 1 rushing touchdown. The Raiders have allowed the 6th most rushing yards, 6th most rushing touchdowns, yes, and the 10th most fantasy points to opposing running backs in the last month. So, and Hines is just, he's being used really well in that offense. So, yeah, I reckon he's a pretty good flex option.
Okay, I like it. Benny?
Yeah, I think let's go back to that game there at Green Bay and Detroit. Seeing as though Green Bay have just put up 73 points in the third quarter, the Lions are going to score.
I have taken Aaron Rodgers off. They took him off after half time.
They're going to have to score a couple of garbage time TDs, but also if Darrell Bevel doesn't want to look as stupid as Matt Patricia, he will make sure that Adrian Peterson and Kerryon Johnson do not touch the football for the whole game. And he just goes, DeAndre Swift, take over my son. Just have your day in the sun. And, Swift has missed a couple of games, but he's currently ranked as the running back 39. And Green Bay are poor against the run. Let's not forget about that. Dalvin Cook went off against them twice this year. They've really
Here we go. Now he's putting DeAndre Swift up there with Dalvin Cook. Mate, you're putting some big combo plays together tonight.
Mate,
Tyreek Hill, Justin
Swift
Jefferson,
looks good. Swift looks good.
Swift and Cook.
I feel like there's a bit of competition now with Akers, though. I don't know that you can call Swift the best.
It's 1 minute to 3 a.m. G. Go big or go home, mate. We got it.
Mate, I'm going.
The question is Swift playing? Are we sure he's on?
I think actually he's out of concussion protocol. He practiced.
Questionable.
Yeah, I did look at Swift though, Benny. I must admit, I did look. Swift was a guy that I took serious consideration for this spot, but I figured, mate, I'm so far ahead in the scoring so far with the team I've put together. I'm just going safe. I'm going safe. I don't need to make up numbers and go wild. So I'm staying with Jamison Crowder at Seattle. Seattle being terrible against wide receivers, and Matt Crowder's been on the most part of this season. He's been like the only guy.
High floor.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm looking for.
Yep.
High floor, mate. High floor. We're at first story level.
Yeah.
We're not at the ceiling, but we're on the first floor.
Doesn't it make you sad?
Upstairs anyway.
Doesn't it make you sad though that the best you can hope for the Jets is Sam Darnold throwing to Jamison Crowder? Like, isn't that just a sad sight? I feel it's a sad.
Mate, what is it about Jamison Crowder that people just don't like? I don't get it.
I love him.
I really don't.
I love him. He's guaranteed to probably, be that perfect flex option for you. I don't not love him. I just think, it was the same in Washington. He was on a team that was going nowhere.
Yep.
He's got plenty of talent, and he just seems to be this guy who is going to, disappear around the league when, I'm surprised that somebody did trade for him this year. I really thought, he would go maybe to a contender, even to Green Bay. Imagine him in Green Bay. Oh, beautiful.
Yep. That's a great spot for him to land.
Yeah.
Like you look at him like last week, mate. 2 touchdowns, 47 yards. Is it the yards and not the touchdowns that people go, oh, yeah, he only got 40 and he got 2 touchdowns only on 47 yards? But, mate, the guy's in the right spot all the time.
Yeah. I think
he's a good route runner.
He's a good what?
He's a good route runner. but he is. And he was in college, and that's why we liked him when he came out, because of that fact. And in 8 games this year, 3 times he's been over 100 yards. And twice it included a touchdown, and the 5 other games he scored twice. So, mate, in 3 games, he hasn't given you the return that you're looking for. But, mate, you could say that about 95% of wide receivers this year.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
So I've never understood the Jefferson. I don't know. Maybe you're right, Ben, and it's who he's played for. He's never been on a team that was going anywhere.
He's not the sexy pick, is he? He's not the sexy pick.
No, he's not a sexy pick at all. It's just like people want the bloody bells and whistles and the fireworks, and they want all that shit. They want the Justin Jefferson. I'm not saying it, but that's what they want. They want the guys flying through the air and he doesn't do the spectacular catches crap. Mate, he's a meat and potatoes, blue collar wide receiver.
Yeah.
And people just go, oh yeah, I'll get him round 7 of them, and I'll just stick him in because he's got a good floor. Mate, he helps you out every week.
Yeah, he does, but it always does feel a little weird starting him still. I shouldn't.
It's because he played, mate. Like Ben said, if he was on Green Bay, you'd start him every week.
Hell yeah. Can you imagine how many bloody points he'd have if he played for Green Bay?
What was
that? If he had been drafted higher initially, when he was actually drafted into the league, he would be considered higher value than he is probably today.
You probably find find that he's valued more with people in the know than now.
Oh yeah.
Than not.
Yeah, definitely more than fantasy people. So we've done it. Have we got under?
We've done it.
Hunt. There you go. There's my flex. Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Not one mention of Baker, the baby maker.
Only in the cheesecake. What?
Baker's playing well, isn't he?
He's doing well. He's the
only hell of a game.
Playing within himself, David. That's all you need him to do.
Is that the key? Is that the key? Not to mention it. Like, let's just not talk about it.
Yes.
I tipped against Cleveland this week in my tipping comp.
Ah, really?
I was because of the way they've been playing. They've been playing well or decent. I was expecting it. The fear factor, when a team comes up against a team that they've had troubles against previously, they sometimes get that little bit of shit. We're doing this again, and that didn't happen. And I like to think that by not tipping them, I got them over the line.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Exactly.
Mate, we all have
the universe works in weird ways.
Why didn't watch the Tigers live in the grand final, mate? Because I figured if I watch them,
but you and I spoke about a week before the grand final. I told you Richmond was going to
win. Yeah.
Richmond was going to win by 36 points, and what did they win by? 35.
So, well, you're wrong.
AJ, have we got a quick? Have we got a quick time for a quick wild card prediction after this weekend? So currently, AFC wild card, the Dolphins and the Colts are in position 6 and 7, both with an 8 and 4 record. On the bubble, the Raiders 7 and 5, and the Ravens 7 and 5. Who is going to be in those 2 wild card spots at the end there after this weekend?
Ravens will.
Yep.
Ravens are in there. Who drops out?
Yep.
Ravens and Colts.
Miami drop out.
Miami drop out. Yep.
Yep.
I think Miami's got a pretty rough ride home, haven't they?
Yeah. Not sure actually, but man, the Finns though, man, they've played so well.
They've put them in a bit of they're in a bit of a weird position now, aren't they, Miami? With like if you look at the records, I think Tua's record for wins is good.
Yeah.
But if you look at his numbers, they're just so. Like, can we get at the point of the season? Can these numbers keep putting us across the line as an offense?
Yes.
Threw the ball 39 times last week, so that was encouraging.
Yep. It's going to be really, really interesting to see, even like with in Philadelphia.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, to see how these guys go, because they've come from teams that have been like overflowing with talent on the offense.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the jury's still out on will be on Hurts, but on Tua as well, because of what they, it's like a privileged childhood, wasn't it, where they played?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. NFC, we've got the Bucks in 6th position, 7-5. Vikings in the 7th position, 6-6. On the bubble, the Cardinals 6-6, who have the Giants this week, and the Vikings play the Bucks.
Ooh,
Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks. Yeah.
Thanks.
Wow, just where my heart goes, mate.
You bring that Green Bay love all the way over here, mate. That's fine.
Cheese heads. He needs to get one of those big foam cheese heads at the moment.
Yeah.
Get rid of the Falcon wings and get a big cheese head.
Just this week, mate. Just this week.
And do the Cardinals get past the Giants this week?
That Giants D is legit.
Yeah. Where is it? Is it in New York?
I think it's in Arizona.
Yeah, it's in Arizona. Yeah.
Does the field really matter?
Yeah.
No.
Grass, yeah, but it does with grass to turf.
Oh, yeah, but not like for crowd or anything.
Not for crowd, no. Not this year especially.
No.
Yeah, I think Arizona is still good enough to get over the Giants. I don't think the Giants could put up a score.
I reckon Kyler is in more strife than the early settlers. That shoulder,
Dave.
That shoulder is no good.
I'm trying to flog him in leagues, mate. And you're
no, he's awesome. He's awesome. He's going to be great.
Thank you.
He's going to throw 1,000 yards. He's going to do like 18 touchdowns. He's going to scamper for 6.
He's going to be the Green Bay Packers all by himself this week.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't need no line. He just needs like a center. That's it. He's just going to.
I still
think the old Mickey Turner handball over the top, or Mickey Conlon handball over the top, and run around. He's going to lob it to himself. 18-yard, 40-yard, 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah, mate. I think he still struggles to me when he's inside the pocket. Like how many balls? Exactly. You can't throw through guys all the time.
No, not when you're 5'4".
Nah. And how many balls were batted down last week again?
Did you see? This is what I'm telling you. Bill Belichick has opened the book on him. He jumped. I said to you this last week. The New England Patriots, they jumped. Their D-line was not about rushing him. It was about jumping and putting hands in the air. And everyone is starting to do the same thing. And you watch his effectiveness with that. He doesn't have a sore shoulder who G's trying to trade them to. Whoever's going to take him is awesome. But he's not.
They're crisscrossing him. That's what they're doing.
Thanks, Dave. I'll just hit reject now, Dave. Thanks for that, mate.
They're crisscrossing him. Jump.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah, House of Pain.
Yeah. All right, come on, wrap this up.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. All right, well, thanks very much, guys, for joining us for our Week 14 preview. First week of the fantasy playoffs.
Good luck, boys.
Which
Dave doesn't
particularly care about. I mean,
I do. We haven't had the time to sit down and you teach me. So,
there you go. Well, so week 1 of the fantasy playoffs, and the season keeps on moving along, and let's just pray that we can get to the end of this thing, because it seems like in the US every day they're setting a new record for COVID cases.
So did you hear today?
What, 3,000?
more people died today of COVID than in 9/11.
So I think it was
Unreal.
4 days this week, Dave, that more people have died than I think it was Pearl Harbor as well. Like there was a top 10,
right?
and like this week takes up like 5 of them now.
It's look, and we five, we four plus, a few of the other boys and watching us. We're all Melbourne people. We know what we went through, and we can bitch and moan about it. But you know what? Probably in the long run, it was the right choice, right call.
Yeah.
As much as it hurt everybody.
Yeah.
I do believe, and obviously you guys know what I do for a job and being on the front line. I genuinely believe it saved lives. And if the people over there could get past their own self-importance for 5 seconds,
not going to happen, mate.
No, and I do know, and I speak to them. I mean, we follow each other all on Twitter. You see who we all talk to. They're just fighting an uphill battle. Like I've got family over there that I have been dying to take my kids to visit, and it ain't happening because we're not going to be traveling for at least 2 to 3 years until this vaccine is proven to.
Mate, don't tell me that, dude. I've got all this money stashed away, dude. I've got to do something with it, mate.
Brother, I'm in the same boat. This year we've cancelled a trip to Japan for the kids. We've cancelled all sorts of stuff, as everyone else has. We've all been wearing this massive burden on our shoulders.
I think it's a great testament to this. To the country as a whole's done well, but as Melbourne, where we were, as there's always a pack of idiots that will protest anything just because that's what they enjoy doing. But as a whole, what we did was amazing to get it down to 0 for how many days is it? Is it
44 today?
44.
Yeah,
that's
44
amazing.
more.
So there we go. So
yeah.
On a good note, then let's wrap this puppy up. Then AJ.
Yeah. And Junior Seau is riding a mountain bike in the background. So yep.
And may he rest in peace riding that mountain bike.
He's popping a mono.
He's
wheelie, free wheeling.
Yep.
Thanks, matey. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, guys, for joining us.
Campy.
Thank you, everybody who tuned in. Enjoy week 14. Best of luck in the first week of the fantasy playoffs.
Good luck to you, three boys.
Yes, and on behalf of Dave, Ben, G, and myself, have a great week, and we'll catch you next time. There, I did that properly, didn't I?
You did very well.
Yeah,
nailed it. AJ.
Now I've messed it up by saying all this rubbish at the end. Okay, thanks, everybody.
You get a treat.
Thank you. Have a great week, everyone. See ya.
Cheers.